Character trait of the month is integrity. Integrity is having the inner strength to be truthful, trustworthy, and sincere in all things, doing the right thing when no one is looking. In the following situation, which action shows integrity? Explain. You have timed a math facts test at school and you haven't studied. A. You do the best you can and promise yourself that you'll study next time. B. You slide, you slide a math card with all the facts listed into your lap so you can see it during the test.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat that scenario so our classes can raise their hand. You have a timed math facts test at school and you haven't studied. Which one of these shows integrity? A, you do the best you can and promise yourself that you'll study next time, or B, you slide a math card with all the facts listed into your lap so you can see it during the test. Miss Eldaderi's class?
I think A, because if you didn't study, then you have to try your best even though you didn't study. Because even if you didn't study, you maybe can get a good score even if you didn't study.
Good, thank you for explaining your answer as well. Okay, I see Miss Samaya's class had their hand up. Oh, I think it went down.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Come on in.
So I would pick A because integrity means to be honest with yourself and others. And if you would pick B, it would it would probably result in you being a bad person when you grow up. So you have to start now
To show integrity.
yeah.
Great, thank you, Innie. Miss Moore's class.
I'll pick A because if you just be true to yourself, it will make you feel happy and make you know that that next time I promise to do this and I promise that I will try my best next time.
Okay, so you're saying having integrity also makes you feel good. Thank you so much. Miss Kim's class.
I think option A is the best because option B, if you just have all the answers, you won't learn from the next time you have a test.
Thank you, Miss Kim's class, and then Miss Stambolski's class.
Nice and loud.
I agree to number A because if you don't study, you can study next time.
You always have a chance to turn it around as long as you have integrity. Thank you, friends. I'm going to turn it back over to Cairo in our morning announcements.
It's Black History Month. Today we will focus on Bessie Coleman. Picture this, you are sitting in an interview with Bessie Coleman. What questions would you ask Bessie?
Okay, so we are going to learn about our figure today, Bessie Coleman, and our focus question. If you are sitting in an interview with Bessie Coleman, what questions would you ask? I want you to think about that as we are learning. You're going to learn about it right now, my friend. And as a matter of fact, you are going to tell everyone about it.
Bessie Coleman was the first African American woman to become an airplane pilot. She faced many challenges both as a woman and as an African American, but she became very successful and still serves as a role model for many young people.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen so we can begin introducing ourselves to our important figure of the day. Thank you, Tyler, for introducing her for us.
Bessie Coleman was the first female African American pilot, and she was a civil rights pioneer for future generations. Born in 1892, she was famous for becoming a pilot in a time when very few women and no African American women were flying planes. Coleman was known as one of the best barnstormers, or stunt pilots, in America. She was famous for performing tricks like flying upside down, making loops, and even walking or hanging onto her plane while it was in flight. Most famously, she also performed jumps from planes using early parachutes. Bessie is remembered for living an exciting life, but it wasn't always that way. She was born in a little town called Atlanta in the state of Texas to a Native American father and an African American mother. Her childhood wasn't easy. She walked 4 miles every day to a one-room school that couldn't afford paper or pencils. Her parents were sharecroppers. They operated under a system of agriculture in which a landowner allowed a tenant to use the land in return for a share of the crops produced on that land. So, when Bessie wasn't in school, she was often working in the cotton fields in order to help her parents bring in income. Growing up, Coleman swore to herself that she would find a way to make her life mean something. And so she did.
Hey, that's a little introduction to the exciting life of Bessie Coleman. And our focus question was, if you are sitting in an interview with Bessie Coleman, what questions would you ask? So friends, let's raise our hands. I would love to, you have an idea, kick it off, Tyler.
How did she become a famous pilot? Did she put in the hard effort and hard work? Or maybe did she just succeed in life by a trainer?
That's an amazing question. That's a really good question, Tyler. And I hope that when you're doing research, you find out the answer to that. Okay, I see Miss Moore's class has their hand up.
Go. So questions I would ask her is that I would ask her what it was like on the fields and stuff.
Great, about how she grew up.
That was the worst question.
Miss Kim's class.
A question that I'll ask Bessie was, what was it like being a civil rights pioneer?
Ooh, thank you. And Miss Eson's class.
My question is, what would you do if the plane malfunctioned?
You know what, Yvonne? Question two. I don't think I'm nearly as adventurous as Bessie Coleman was. And I think I saw Miss Cardenas' class.
Why did you want to become a pilot?
Yes, she picked a very exciting life. So these are all great questions that you can answer while you're doing research for Black History Month, when we have our big gallery walk on March 1st. So now I'm going to turn it over to Tyler, who will now recite the I Will Graduate Pledge.
I am determined that I will graduate from college. Education is the key to my future success. I will attend school every day. I will work hard in every way. I will honor all who have shared their knowledge with me so that I can succeed. I will stay out of trouble and engage in activities that support my community. I will have faith in myself and never give up. I will be positive even when times get tough. I will do my best. I will strive to be the best. I will graduate. Dana will now share our lunch and recess schedule for today. Today for lunch we will have chef choice or chicken tender melt whole wheat bread, superhero spinach, salad bar, rainbow bar. Today we will have inside recess. Please remember to follow directions. This week's skill is fluency. In both reading and math we practice our fluency. What does fluency in reading look like? What does fluency in math look like? We wish everyone a great day. We will turn it over to Principal Hasbury Signal.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Here we are just moving throughout the week. I think I got some questions for Miss Bessie Coleman as well, because my grandparents were sharecroppers. So I thought that was an amazing question that was asked about how was it like living on a sharecropper's farm. So remember back then, people of color didn't have a lot of rights. They couldn't own the land, but they could work the land, and they would work the land for a specific price, and you had to pay, and then you had to walk to school, to a one-room schoolhouse. And look at all the things that Miss Coleman experienced, and she overcame to be an amazing pilot. So I kind of look at myself, and I hope that I am doing my grandparents well by being a successful principal and really sharing everything that I learned with you guys, because my grandparents were sharecroppers, not in Texas, but in Alabama, which is next to Texas. Okay, just some quick reminders. Thank you all for asking those questions, looking at the clip this morning, beginning to think about it, because we really want you guys to all use those skills and build up that muscle as we're sliding right in to our testing seasons for grades 3, 4, and 5. But just because the grades 3, 4, and 5 are being tested, it doesn't mean that our lower grades are not being noticed as well. So you're doing a lot of practice testing. You're asking those type of questions. You have to practice writing those questions so you can really, really exercise your fingers and know how to make up those sentences. Today is Wednesday, February the 7th, 2024. Remember, we have our book of the month, right? We need to be able to share that and make sure, teachers, that we're sharing that with parents for our success for next week. So those people who plan ahead, remember that we have a template and you're more than welcome to use it or create your own. So that way you'll have information to share with parents about the book of the month, about our talent show that is next week. It is very, very busy. So if you're going to be a part of the talent show, please remember to fill out your permission slip and hand it in to your classroom teachers. Classroom teachers, you will hold on to the permission slips. You do not have to bring them to the office. Also next week, we have an in-house basketball game. Okay, so that's going to be exciting. We're going to be very, very busy. Also, students have also received their envelopes that kind of look like this. In my hand, this is B. Moore's envelopes, so I'll hand them out to you guys, or Miss Walker or Hawkins will. These have to go home to your parents. Make sure that you go through your book bag, you take everything out, and you take it home so your parents can fill it out. It's very important that parents fill this out because we need to know ways on how to support them and how we're doing as a school. So we don't want our parents to fill it out angry. We want our parents to fill it out happy and highlight all the things of what we're doing here in the school community. So it's very important. We're looking to see the first class that has 100% of all of these turned in, and we're going to have a prize for them. We're not sure what that prize is going to be. It could be extra recess time. It could be a nice pizza party. It could be an ice cream sundae party. It could be anything that we're going to do for the class that makes sure that every parent has filled out their survey and handed it back. If you're a new student and you didn't have the survey, that's okay. You could just make sure that you tell your parents that they can go onto the website and contact Miss Imani, who is our parent coordinator, to help them fill out the survey. So keep reminding those parents to get that in. Also today, certain students will get another letter that has to go home to their parents. It's a confidential letter. You shouldn't have to open it in front of everyone. You shouldn't read it in front of everyone. You should put it in your book bag, and then when you get home, you give it over to your parents, okay? Okay, all right. Teachers, please don't forget to read our weekly newsletter. It was released last night. So if you have your prep today, please log in. There's a lot of policy that's in there. That's our way of sharing new information and reviewing old information with you all. And it's also our way of providing feedback so you know what are our next instructional steps. So it's very, very important. And I'm going to continue to walk around today and support everyone. Thank you. And let's make this an awesome day. Have a great day, everybody.